Today, on a very special episode of Two Sides of the Pond, we are discussing the women who have uncrossed their legs and gave us life. We're talking about Mother's Day.
Uncross their legs.
Yeah.
Damn. It's a graphic way to start things.
Let's go.
Just squat right down and shit a little Dwayne out. Amazing. Let's do this. Whoa. Oh. Two balls. So X and Y chromosomes.
There you go.
Mixed men. Hello and welcome to Two Sides of the Pond. My name is Matthew and I'm here with Dwayne over on the other side of the pond in America. Hello.
Hi.
This is...
That's all you got?
This is all I got, yeah. I don't know where I was going with that one. But yeah, Mother's Day is coming up. You call it Mother's Day in America as well? Is it the same? Because obviously like Pancake Day, you called it, Mad Grass or whatever the fuck.
Mardi Gras, yeah.
That's the one.
But see, I was curious. I didn't think you guys called it Mother's Day.
Yeah, we do.
I thought you would call it Mothering Sunday.
Yeah, to be fair, that is another word for it, Mothering Sunday, but it's still known as Mother's Day here.
Okay. Which happens on 2 different days, yet again.
Yes, so ours has already been. By the time our lovely listeners and viewers are watching and listening to this, that was hard to figure out. We've already had Mother's Day in the UK because it's a very, very different time. Mother's Day in the UK is this year the end of March, the last Sunday in March. When is Mother's Day in the US for you? Because I have no idea what day it is
Sunday
right now. And that's when this podcast is. I have no idea.
It's the second Sunday.
Recording it in advance.
Yeah, ours is the second Sunday of May.
Is it?
And our history...
Always second Sunday of May, right?
Yes.
So ours moves about a little bit, maybe not so much, but maybe every now and then it moves around a little bit. But
isn't yours on the 4th Sunday of Lent?
Maybe something like that.
Yeah. So Mothering Sunday is the 4th Sunday of Lent. Ours is the second Sunday of May, and which moves around a bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
but not
a whole lot.
Yeah. Do you have a Father's Day?
We have a Father's Day.
And when is that?
Sometime in June.
I think ours might be in June as well.
We'll do a podcast about our fathers.
Yay!
Who have unzipped their pants to give us life. Yeah.
Oh my God. No grippage.
So our Mother's Day comes from someone named Anna Jarvis, where yours is a very religious holiday.
Is it?
I'm asking.
I have no idea.
No?
I'm not a mother. How the fuck would I know?
You have one. You celebrate it. So
I celebrate it by getting her flowers and chocolates and having a meal with her. I don't look into the religious side of all that shit because, fuck religion.
Okay. The Mothering Sunday is usually the day that they have a special mass in church for the mothers.
Okay.
Like the Virgin Mother Mary, and it's
she was a whore.
Whereas ours
piss
was
off
done
Americans, I'm sure,
by someone named Anna Jarvis, which very few people know about who Anna is.
Yeah, so what's her story then? What did she do? She just have a like postnatal depression and stuff, and then create a holiday. What was it?
No. Her mother had frequently expressed the desire to establish such a holiday, and after her mother's death, Jarvis led the movement for the commemoration of her mother. Her mother always thought that she deserved a day for being a mom, so her daughter gave her one, which was nice. However,
it caught on. Everyone
wants it. It caught on, but because of the commercialization of it, she wanted to renege the whole idea. She didn't like that it became such a commercialized thing. She wanted to get rid of it, but it couldn't. She couldn't do it. The movement was
Right.
there. It already
Right.
happened. People were making too much money on it, and they decided that's it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay.
Whereas in the UK, the tradition began when people would return to their mother church, which is basically like the church they were baptized in. So, and they would go and have a special service at church, often have a roast lunch, and the mother was sometimes proclaimed as the queen of the feast. Whereas here we go and buy our mothers something.
Yeah, I mean that's what I do. So I'm guessing I'm already doing the more Americanized
American.
version of Mother's Day. It's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't be bothered going to churches. They're cold and damp. It's boring. It's really boring. It's a boring thing to do. Like, why would you waste your time being around
Going
other
to
people?
church?
Yeah. What's it going to achieve?
Well, I don't know.
Exactly.
But there's also, you also do something called Seminole cake.
Seminole
which,
cake?
Yeah.
Never had that before in my life.
That's traditional.
Is it?
It's a rich fruit cake associated with Easter.
Oh my god, it looks
Seminole
horrendous.
cake.
Seminole cake. It's a fruit cake.
Yeah.
I see why you've picked up on that. But yeah, never seen it before. I don't know why it has little fucking cream-colored nipples on it, but oh my god, it looks
Mother's
shit.
Day.
Need some topping up in your milk. Have some Seminole cake. Yeah, I've never seen one before in my life. It looks like shit though. Although I don't mind the Easter eggs around on it. If you can see what I can see on Wikipedia, it's got loads of Easter eggs, little
Cadbury.
mini eggs. Yeah, mini eggs around. I eat the mini eggs. I'm guessing it is linked then to the whole,
Easter birth.
Yeah.
Okay.
All that shit. I'm guessing so. I'm guessing there's some sort of like linkage with all this shite somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Religious nuts can tell us all about it in the comments.
Yeah, please do, because I bet more Americans think it's more of a Christian holiday than what it really is.
It's quite surprising, isn't it? Considering, I would say Americans are a lot more religious than British people.
Yeah.
And
we make a religion where it doesn't even belong.
Yeah, but yet when it comes to Mother's Day, you've got it quite simple of, we buy some shit and then that's it. Enjoy it. Whereas we apparently have this whole religious thing behind it that I've never heard of.
Yeah. I mean, the cool story about Anna Jarvis was also that she became kind of crazy in the 1940s.
Really?
And was
women go crazy? Nah.
Yeah, and she was placed in a sanitarium.
What's
a nut house? A nut house.
Oh. You said cemeterium?
Sanatorium?
That's a nut house? That sounds like a graveyard.
Look it up.
A cemeterium. Sanatorium.
Sanatorium.
Sanatorium. No, that's a crematorium. No, let's try again.
No.
That's where she was placed. What is this? Anne Frank? Come on. Sanatorium. I'm just getting crematoriums. What the fuck is a sanatorium? How are you spelling this shit?
SANATOR.
SAN?
Yes.
Sanatorium.
Sanatorium.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Sematorium. Which is why I spelt it like a cremation place. Okay. Yeah, all right. For sick children in a boarding school, in the British use of the word.
Okay. Sick is the right word.
Yeah. Well, all children are sick these days.
And there's a legend that a portion of her medical bills were paid for by florists, which would kind of be a slap in the face.
Would it?
So the whole idea that she came up with a commercialized holiday, that she didn't like it being so commercialized, that she wanted to get rid of it. And one of the biggest places one of the biggest businesses that would make the most money would be florists. And they paid for part of her medical bills.
I do wonder how florists make good money. Like, it's fair enough when you have certain occasions like Valentine's Day, like Mother's Day, or when there's been some sort of, I'm going to say it, mass shooting, and you got to buy lots of flowers for the loved ones. You know what I mean? They do good business then,
Well, there
right?
are
They're
so
probably
many of
begging
them
for a
here.
disaster. But then when there's not much going on, what the fuck are they selling?
There's always something going on, and
in America, yeah, because I mean, pew pew.
You think of it this way: whenever you attach the word "wedding" to something, the price goes up by like 10-fold.
I know, it's mad. I hate this concept in general. I have this problem with other stuff, like with flight tickets and hotel prices, right? So a really good example: Formula One going to Vegas, right? During that weekend,
Yeah,
yes, that they are there. That's what I was trying to say before my bollocks got in my mouth. The hotel prices and the flight prices go through the roof, right? Massive increase, but the service is the same. You can't see the race from the hotel room unless you're lucky enough to be on one of the ones that happen to have a balcony over the track. But most of the rooms, you can't see the race from it. How can they justify more? I personally think it should be illegal. Like, for an airline, they should be able to
Price
say,
gouging.
yeah, it is. I hate it. They should be. What the rule should be is when you price something, like with a flight ticket, you say, right, it costs, say, $500 to fly from Florida to the UK in economy, and it's the same price then for any seat of the same class, right? If the service is the same, you cannot charge different. None of this price fluctuation based on demand. The price is set, and that's it. Once it's set, it's set. You cannot change it, right? Because I think it's wrong to be like, oh, this is really popular, we'll double the price. Fuck off. Why is it right that someone pays a lot more for the exact same service? That shouldn't be fair. That should be illegal. It's price fixing. It's no different when you see. I mean, it's quite funny when me and Connor have been in business class, and we've used a voucher to get a really, really cheap ticket, and there's people there that have paid thousands for their seat, and we're like, lol, we paid £300. That's funny, but it's a bit different because we're using a voucher that we've earned to redeem for the seats. But it's still annoying when you see some people have paid a lot of money, for stuff, and the service is the same. Same with a hotel, charging suddenly $500 a night rather than $200 because some sort of event is going on. They do it, for example, when the Consumer Electronics Show is in Vegas in January. The pricing goes to the roof. You could be spending $20,000, $30,000 for a week in a Vegas hotel whilst that event is going on, even though the event is, although it's at several convention centers, but the main part of it is at the Vegas Convention Center, not necessarily in the hotel you're staying at.
They're making up for the rest of the time that they're not filling their seats or filling their beds in a hotel.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing.
Should be a flat.
So when it comes to weddings and Valentine's Day, like, florists go nuts.
Yeah,
with the amount of money that they're going to charge for a dozen roses.
Yeah,
my wedding was very different. I did not
flowers?
Fall for that. So I had flowers. Oh. However, I never called it a wedding.
What did you call it?
I didn't call it anything. I was having a party.
You're having a party. Who wore the white dress?
Nobody.
Oh.
Mine,
what kind of suit did you wear?
Sorry to disappoint you. No, as a matter of fact, I wore
work clothing.
What I wore.
Your torso.
What I wore on this podcast once.
Your jersey?
No. Actually, you said you really like the shirt. You like the color of the shirt.
Doesn't sound like something I'd say.
So, right? Yeah. Roll back the footage.
What
Absolutely. It was a blue.
Oh, from the other day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the last time we recorded.
So very casual.
We got married at the beach, because that's where we met, and I had kids at the time, and they were like 11 and 13 years old. So we got all matching shirts, same style of shirt, but different color. It was all solid colored shirts, polos. So wasn't going to spend that kind of money on a suit for everybody that we were going to rent or never wear again pray someone dies so we could wear them again before we grew out of them. You know, like it
That's what
wasn't
you
a
got
real
to do, though,
thing.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I did that when I bought a black suit. I'm like, well, I need to wear it for this thing. I hope someone dies soon so I can wear it to a funeral. Otherwise, I'm going to get.
It's a waste.
Yeah, it is expensive stuff. These things,
It is. So yeah, and then when I was looking into wedding cakes are thousands and thousands of dollars. And I was like, well, we're not doing that. We're not getting a wedding cake. We're getting a 3-tiered cake. And that's what we bought. We didn't say it was for a wedding.
Just bought a normal
so
cake.
We didn't have to. What's that?
Just bought a normal cake.
Yeah.
Easy.
It just so happened to have white icing and decorations.
So what did you do for your honeymoon then? Go to Tennessee or something?
No. We went to Atlantic City for the weekend. We had an overnight. We had kids, so we couldn't get away for a long amount of time, but yeah.
Yeah, it's fair.
So we don't celebrate Mother's Day in this house.
No.
We don't have a reason to.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
My kids don't have mothers. So
no. But you celebrate Father's Day, I guess.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I remember getting into a small war with the schools that my kids went to because they both went to schools that celebrate all these things. And I remember going to school celebrating Mother's Day. And I was like, well, my kids don't have mothers and I don't want them to feel a certain way about that and make them feel like disassociated, like make them stand out and feel bad about that. So I was like, what could we do about that? So.
Have you ever done much for Mother's Day yourself then?
No.
It's never really been. So what the fuck's the point in doing this fucking episode? It's just you never celebrated in either direction.
Right. So I know how close you are with your mother. So yeah, I haven't talked to my mother in over 5 years. Easy. And we've had a very tumultuous relationship before that. But I remember the whole, you do things when you're a child, you make really bad breakfast for them so they could have breakfast in bed type thing. And you go to school and they'd have a bazaar and you would buy a really cheap plant or something that would die a couple of weeks later. Yeah. Did you ever have things like that in your school?
I don't think so. I don't think we had anything in the school. Not that I can remember. I don't believe so. I don't think we made a song and dance about it in school. No.
We are from different generations too. I mean, that is part of it.
Yeah, you're ancient and I'm not so.
No, we came from like the book clubs that we would do, the book fair in school. I don't know if you had that either, but
not really.
Yeah, no, we would every couple of months the book fair would come into town and they would set up in the library and you would be brought to school with money if you had it to purchase books and stationery.
Right.
Another way for people to make money. That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, everything is, isn't it? Everything is always a money grab. Let's be honest. It always is.
But your mother seems like a very sweet lady, so it's not like I'm jaded by mothers.
That's good.
Well, no, it's not like I don't want to say jealous, but like I don't have resentment for people who are very close with their families. It's just not a thing in my world.
Yeah, this is not what you've had. Yeah, it's fair enough.
I've accepted it through years of therapy and dealing with people like you.
I rustled my balls.
Yeah.
Oh God, getting too old to bend down. Just talking about being ancient. Getting old.
Yeah, no, I think it's I think it's really cool that people have that family connection and they celebrate Mother's Day the way that they do. They make a really big deal about it. And As people get older, though, I don't think they do much on Mother's Day. I mean, look at the card industry. How many people actually write cards and mail them anymore?
Yeah, like I don't. We don't do cards anymore. It's the same for birthdays and Christmas. We don't bother because, yeah, sure you can spend, I don't know, £5 on some sort of fancy looking card that says the same old shite that it does every single year.
It's never personalized.
Yeah, exactly. And what's the point if you like the cards, then hold on to the one I gave you last year, and then just take it out the cupboard or something. That's what we do for Christmas now. We re-put up the ones from the previous years because what's
Mm-hmm.
the point in just buying new stuff to throw it in the bin? It's just a waste. When you're younger,
There,
fair enough, but now,
there is a thing where I think I send out maybe under 10 cards a year for the holidays.
yeah.
Because I take the envelopes from the people who gave me cards last year and I just send them cards because I figure they're going to give me a card. So out of politeness, I send them cards, which
Yeah.
is fine. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's fine. Yeah.
I still get cards in the mail from one person and one person only in my life. And I just got one for Valentine's Day from her. And randomly, I'll get cards, and birthdays, I'll get cards from her. Her name is Karen. And I used to work with her, and we became, shut up, and we became very good friends. And she is, I want to say, in her 70s.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So she still believes in the going in a store, looking at all the cards, finding the right one, and literally like writing it out, puts the stamp on it, and posts it. Which is all right. I will say this. Um, it's kind of still a thrill to get something that's not a bill or an advertisement come into your mailbox like that.
Yeah. True. Yeah. It's a bit different, I suppose, in that sense. Something fresh. Yeah.
That's
That
like,
makes
oh
sense.
wow. And she'll also send me things throughout the year, which is really nice of her because she still lives in New Jersey and that's where I know her from. So she'll send me something from New Jersey
Hmm.
specifically. For Christmas, one of the things that she had mailed over was a stuffed animal. It's like the grandmother I never had, or the mother I've never had in
Yeah.
that respect. Like she sent me a stuffed animal of a seagull holding a French fry in its beak because it's very reminiscent of the Jersey Shore. Because you would sit there on the boardwalk, and if you had your French fries in the cup with malt vinegar and salt, and the seagulls would just flock around you to steal your French fries.
Yeah.
So it's just like little cute things like that. As a matter of fact, fun fact, hold on.
He's off.
I'm
He's
off.
sliding.
I'm back. I'm burning one of the candles she gave me for Christmas,
Oh,
named
nice.
the Jersey
Jersey
Shore.
Shore. Oh,
Right.
okay.
So she brings me things like that. It's cute.
Right. Yeah, that's cute. Yeah, it makes sense.
So my love language happens to be gift giving.
Okay.
So and I like to receive that as well.
So do it both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I
Yep.
see.
The gifts I give are very thoughtful, and the gifts I receive, I would like to be just as thoughtful.
That's probably why you find me so frustrating then. Because I'm like, yeah, I don't need anything, don't want anything, nope, 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 nope.
I've tried. I have
Yes, you
tried.
have. You have.
I
It's just,
have sat
nope.
there and I was like, well, maybe I want to send you something one day. And I asked for your address and I started looking at stuff and I'm like, I can't find anything for him yet. Because
No.
I know the feeling that I get when I send something. Like when I get something in the mail and someone's thought of me. There are some really good, memorable gifts I've gotten. I've got a key ring from a friend from up north as well. And it was very simple, but the message behind it was amazing. It was like a thicker bar and a very thin sliver piece of metal. So it was a metal bar about this big and maybe very thin. And it was called, the note attached said, through thick and thin.
Mm.
So it was really like that really touched me. It is one of the only things on my keyring. Like, because it really did mean a lot to me. Like, there was thought behind that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So you just go the generic route with your mom with flowers, and you said flowers and chocolate like it's Valentine's Day, like
yeah, that
to
sort of
show your
thing.
love. And
So
do you take her out for dinner, or do you cook, or do you go to her house?
So this year, so it hasn't been Mother's Day in the UK yet, as we're having this conversation. So it's actually a conversation I had with my mum today.
You are such a liar. Did you hear? Do you remember what you said earlier? Oh, we've already had Mother's Day this year.
Yes, but I'm now revealing the truth that it hasn't actually happened yet.
Come on, right.
I know neither of them actually happened yet. It happens in 6 weeks. From where we are right now to the Mother's Day in the
and this will
UK.
come out way before 6 weeks. So
no, it won't. This one
comes
out. Does it? When does this one come out? I thought this one comes out after the UK Mother's Day, more in line with the US Mother's Day. I thought that was the whole point of this conversation.
Maybe it's May. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah. I could be wrong, but
either way.
Yeah, either which way, it comes out at some point. I don't fucking know. Maybe you just shit. It comes out at some point, right? I can't remember which one it ties into, the UK one or the US one.
So you had the conversation with your mom.
We had the conversation because she's not actually around on Mother's Day. She's in Spain on a little holiday doing stuff. So we have to move it. Now, see, you know how busy I am.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult to find, other times that I'm available. Because in March, I'm in Vietnam and in Amsterdam. So I'm limited for time available as well. And she's then away herself at the end of March, of which I'm then looking after her cat Ola. So there's not much availability trying to find another date. So I think we have found a day that we can do something to have a bite to eat and whatnot and do something.
And you would take her out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Or we order something in, whatever she wants to do. Sometimes we get like a Indian takeaway. We do that. But yeah, we do something. But yeah, it's tricky. It's very tricky these days trying to find time for these sort of things because times are busy.
I love when Matthew gets flustered about these conversations. It's great because you could tell. You could so tell.
What am I flustered about?
Go on.
What am I flustered about?
If anybody has noticed the telltale signs that Matthew has when he talks about something very personal or a little uncomfortable for him, comment down below what you think they are.
Uncomfortable? What's uncomfortable about this?
Go on.
Well, that's it. It's just, it's busy. It's busy and it's hard to find times for things. But we do find time slots. But, when you spend half the time out of the country, it becomes somewhat challenging to be around at the right times. Yes.
Now, I will never, ever fall for the BS of, well, I show you I love you every day.
Mm.
I don't know. That's just not me. But in this circumstance, it may actually work for you. You talk to your mother like every single day, which is great.
I do. Yeah.
You're very close to your mom. That's another reason why I thought it was really great to talk about this topic with you, because definitely the perspective of somebody that has a very, very close relationship versus somebody who doesn't have that.
Mm.
So, I mean, I get told all the time, I get told things like for like Valentine's Day or whatever, I show you I love you all the time when I do this and when I say that, and when I buy you a coffee, it shows that I love you, and so why do we have to do something special on that day?
Mm.
And I could see you being that person.
I'm somewhere in the middle, so I don't agree or care all that much about Valentine's Day. I've only actually done something for it once in my life, and this is a bit pointless. Because again, things get very, very expensive for that time of year. It's very commercialized. It's fucking stupid. You want to go out for a meal, you can do that at any point in the year. It doesn't have to be on that day, But I'm not as far as to say, well, I do other things to show you, blah, blah, blah. I still think it's important to have specific things that you do throughout the year that show this sort of stuff. I just don't think it has to be on Valentine's Day, because it's a commercialized holiday for companies to profit. That's what that's all about, And I personally don't think that's, if someone wants to show me that they care, doing something on Valentine's Day is not going to show me they care.
It's more of obligation.
Yeah, because it feels like
it's the pressure.
Yeah, you're doing it because it's a recognized sort of thing. When you do that sort of crap, you want me to feel loved, then do something out of the blue when there's not something wrapped around it. You know what I mean? So so I'm more middle ground. Important to do things, specific things, go in the extra rather than just buying someone a cup of coffee, but doing something extra special throughout the year. Yes, but doing something on a day like that, it's like, I don't care for it. I don't give a shit. More important things to be doing.
Right.
But yeah. There we go. But I think that sort of wraps up that conversation.
Yeah, I think
a
you're
different
right.
sort of conversation.
Yeah. Very different than what we normally do.
Let's get back to school shootings, man. This has got far too serious.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching, listening. Join our Patreon. We're actually going to continue this conversation a little bit more on our Patreon. And I think that is where we're at. Do you believe that Mother's Day and Valentine's Day and all those are just commercialized and you don't pay particular attention to that as much? Or do you go all out? What do you do with your mom? What are you doing with your mom this Mother's Day? We want
what are you doing with your mom? You dirty bastards.
So comment down below. Let us know what's going on. And we have lots of shorts that people are liking. They are definitely watching and doing their thing. So you should check that out too if you haven't. We have a whole website dedicated to where you could find us. I'm sure it's linked in our description down below. And I'm Dwayne.
Actually,
what?
I don't think the website is.
Well,
actually.
It really should
everything
be,
else
though,
is.
shouldn't it?
Yeah,
there's so much in there.
All the other social medias on there, so you'll find everything underneath. I think, but our website. But our website has the same links as everything else, so it's the same. There's nothing
everything
extra on
is down
other
below.
Than woo.
All right, say goodbye, Matthew.
Goodbye. Woo.
Bye.